You apparently took a stance on formula feeding and were very vocal in talking about it on your page and were cyberbullied because of it,
I was,
which
I
is
was.
crazy. Like, what were some of the things that people were saying and how did you handle that?
I was very vocal about like, hey, there are better products out there for formula now. And this was one of them, a brand that I was working with. And there were people who kind of came out of everywhere, the cyber woodwork, to say, like, how dare you as a medical professional recommend formula.
Ugh,
There's a study, there's a paper called The Lancet that talks about how medical professionals shouldn't recommend a specific formula type for women and or for families. And just like that, me saying that formula is okay is wrong because breast is best and breast milk
mm,
is best and we should be only supporting that. And I was completely shocked. I work with
yeah.
dozens and dozens of women who come into my office postpartum and are struggling with feeding. I mean, to the point of having mental health challenges, sleep challenges,
Yeah.
physical challenges. And I'm like, you have to do what works for you. So everybody can tell you, even myself, like what we think the best thing is, but you have to make the choices that are right for you and lean into what feels right for your body and your family. And that's really like these early stages of motherhood are where we really start to learn like, oh, this is a muscle I have to flex because you're going to be doing
Mhm.
this for the rest of your life and the rest of your child's, upbringing. And I didn't know that they call it lactivist, like this whole lactivist movement was out there. And
Mhm.
a couple things really stand out to me. It was total cyberbullying. I was super disappointed because I think that it felt really immature. It felt like disheartening that adults were treating other adults this way, that we're all supposed to be caring for families. And this was how you treated another health professional, another woman, another medical provider who's trying to do support people. I'm like, if you don't like it, just like move past it, but don't troll me.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. The second thing is I doubled down and I was like, you know what? I put down like $1,000 and I was like, for every person who needs it, I'm going to give you $50 and you can either go buy formula or you can buy breastfeeding supplies or you can do whatever you want
Wow.
because everybody deserves options. And
Yeah.
I think that for me to say like, oh, you shouldn't do this. I'm like, that's not for me to say. I think
Mhm.
that every person has to make the best decisions for them and we shouldn't shame them. And that paper that was referenced was put out in the 70s. And it
Mm.
was for the entire world. It's put up at the World Health Organization. So it was taking into account different Asian and African countries where they were not, supporting lactation for mothers and it was formula feeding. And so it was totally taken out of context. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of privilege that goes along with assuming that everybody has access to breast milk, to donor milk, to breast milk supplies. And that's just not the case. There are
Yeah.
people who are having to go back to work within weeks of giving birth, within days, and they don't have the capacity to pump or feed. And so it was just shaming everybody who chose a different way. And I just don't think that that's the kind of support that moms and families need. And I completely stand by that there are better formulas out there that even if you choose any formula, like you have to do what is best for you and your family. And I think that that's a game changer for women and families. It just to give them options that are healthier, are just more aligned with what is in breast milk and just then to give them a sense of security and safety that this is a really safe and healthy product for your baby. I feel
Yeah.
like 10 years ago that wasn't around and I really I would have probably done things a little bit differently if it was available. Yeah, I stand by it and I'm super fortunate that there are new formula brands that are coming out that want to do right by families and parents. And
Yeah.
I think that we all deserve options and that's exactly what, these formulas do. Is give us
Mhm.
options.
What was your feeding journey like?
So combo also to start, she had to be, I think, on a certain formula in the NICU,
Yeah.
as a preemie for growth.
Mhm.
Like even my breast milk, I would pump at home, bring in the breast milk, and they would give that to her, but they would fortify it with the
Right.
formula, which I didn't even
Mhm.
fully realize at first. And then
I
I
had to do that as well.
yes, and it was kind of
Mhm.
frustrating because I was like, I just wanted her to have straight breast milk.
Mhm.
But you learn quickly when your kiddo's in the NICU, like you can say what you want to do. It's your
Totally.
kid, but like ultimately, if this is the best thing for their health and their medical well being, like you just kind of go, okay, that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
like this isn't the formula that I wanted to give her, but I'll switch her when I can, you
Yeah.
know? And I practiced breastfeeding with her in the NICU. It's just hard. Everyone always says, like, if you have a kid in the NICU,
Yeah.
breastfeeding is that much, it's so hard, but it's
Mhm.
that much harder because like you can only nurse when you go in.
Right.
And she was really good. Like she really got it. Like she didn't have any issues with breastfeeding, which was really cool. It's really cool to see her like take to it. It was a lot for me. I was really stressed out. Like
Mhm.
the pumping constantly. Like I did not enjoy it. I did not like feeling like my life and my schedule had to revolve around it.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. And so I did it, but I did it. She was born, you know, end of September or September 20th, and I stopped pumping early February.
Oh,
So I
okay.
went quite a while.
Yeah.
I pumped longer than I was able to nurse. When I got her off of the formula that she had to be on as a preemie, I was like, yes, like this is gonna make me feel better about the
Yeah.
breastfeeding thing. This is gonna make like I want to give her something that just like makes me feel good about what I'm giving her. Very much like I know Laura has talked about, right? Like with creating Bobbie, like
Mhm.
being in the formula aisle and being like, I just don't feel good about the ingredients in any of these products.
Right.
I want to like be giving my daughter a bottle and be like thinking like what I'm putting into her body is good for her, you know? And so and she's also had like a lot of reflux problems, which is very common for
Yeah.
preemies. When I was able to give her Bobbie Gentle, it was such a game changer.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
it's just I was just gushing about it yesterday. I forget to whom, but just like I'm just so grateful that
Mhm.
it's an option for us.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of options out there that are not
I know.
great.
I know.
Especially, you know, that Consumer Reports study that came out and found, you know, just a lot of troubling things about
Literally.
so many formulas. If I think about it a little too much, I
know,
get
it's
so fired up
scary.
and mad.
It's like, oh my God. And then when you get to regular solid foods, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of work.
Yes. You need to
Yeah.
find the clean solids for
Yes.
them too. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to like prep all the things for her, like, but it's like so many
Yeah.
hours in the day.
It's literally like, I'm not going to be like Martha Stewarding everything,
Yeah.
you know, like, no.
And I was eyeing Bobbie as like the one
Mhm.
that I wanted. The first few weeks after the hospital, we stuck with what they were giving her, and then it wasn't like our favorite. And so as soon as we felt like we were ready, we switched to Bobbie, and now we're on Bobbie Gentle.
Nice.
Yeah, so we did this shoot for Mother's Day where we went out to Venice, and we just sort of asked people like, is your mom a badass?
Yeah.
Is your mom a baddie? And it was so cute. Like it's on Instagram if people want to watch it. But it was
Yeah.
really fun. And I love the Bobbie team. They're so chill. Like when I think of baby formula and like mom culture, I just think of like things being like really type A and
Yeah.
but it's not like that with them. And that's why I feel like I fit in so well, because it was just like a really silly, fun, happy day celebrating moms. And I also love the support because I'm not going to lie, like I do have some insecurities about my struggle with breastfeeding. And so to be in a community of people that they totally just blow that away. Like
Yeah.
there's none of that. It's just we made this great formula. It's accessible, and it just has it has put that insecurity to rest for me, you know,
Yeah.
because it's very isolating when all you're reading is all these people that say negative things. And yeah, I found it to be a little isolating. So I'm grateful that
Mhm.
this exists and that I can feel really good about her getting all her nutrients, you know? So
Yeah, we use Bobbie Gentle too,
Ah.
and I really hate that there's such a stigma around formula feeding your baby. I really don't understand what the issue is, you know? Why wouldn't Yeah, not everyone's able to breastfeed. Who cares?
yeah.
It's not that big of a deal,
Yeah.
honestly.
I also think like people can make whatever decision and do whatever they
Yeah.
want. It's their body, you know? And so I don't judge others, and I ask
Yeah.
to then also not be judged. But
Exactly.
yeah, it's again like it would have been a lot harder to go through this without finding a community of people that are in the same situation with the same beliefs.
Mhm.
That's always really helpful for
Yeah.
anything.